the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Good evening and welcome to Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight we're excited to bring you the Shut Up and Racing Street Stock series. They're coming to us live from Concord. Last week we watched them take on Bristol, another half-mile track, but it's going to be a whole nother story as we take them to this Concord half-mile. Bristol was our standard half-mile oval. When we're looking at Concord, we're looking at something that looks a little more like Pocono, on a nice smaller scale. These guys can be fighting with the corners throughout the night. None of the 3 corners, or iRacing lists them as 5 corners, but none of the corners here are going to be exactly the same. Turns 1 and 2, your standard slightly bent corner leading into kind of more of a dog leg section, and then the corners 4 and 5 is what iRacing's calling it, leading us back onto that front stretch. Nice bank there. Give the guys a good opportunity to get some of that power down. Not that these street stocks have a ton, but with the track temperature we're seeing today, it's not going to take much for these guys to heat up those tires and get them breaking loose. Last week we watched them at Bristol, where we watched Jacob Notstead take home his 6th win for the series. 6th win this season. Yet to lose a race. Looking at the drivers listings right now, we're not seeing him here yet, so that could shake things up for the points that we're expecting to see this season. Looks like our drivers are going through a drivers meeting right now. Let them finish that up, and let's run through points a little bit. Hit your top 5 for you. Like we said, Jacob Notstead, 6 races, 6 wins. Gives him 295 points. Sitting just behind him now is Justin Penuel. Justin just jumped up 2 spots with a nice finish last week. He took 4th place, moving him up into that 2nd place position, giving him 220 points to start this week. Bud Reidner, sitting on 221 points, so just barely behind Justin. Jeff Steenberg, sitting at 211 points, so small gap between him and Bud. And then just another couple points behind him is Damon Ekoff. Like we said, this track is going to mix things up for these guys, give them something to be thinking about all the way around. As usual, there are no tires with this league, so they will not be able to fix up any little mistakes they make getting back to the throttle, warming those things up. As soon as tires start to go, these guys are going to feel it. And they also are not going to have a quick repair, so every bump and bang along the way is really going to add up. It's not a real aero track, but the more damage you do to these cars, the more issues you have down the road. Not only that, these guys only have 12 X's or 12 incident points to work with here tonight. So each time they're touching that wall or getting into the guy in front of them, they're just getting a step closer to getting themselves out of the race. Generally speaking, our winner from the week before ends up with an EOL. Like I said, we don't see him in here currently, so that likely won't come into play tonight. These guys will get stacked up, right off their qualifying results. Tonight, here from the Concord Raceway, we'll be doing 100 laps. Laps will be clicking off pretty quick. Like I say, it's only a half-mile track, but they will be working for every half mile they're getting. All right, we're going to head over the national anthem right now, and we'll get right back with qualifying after that.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Welcome back to the Concord Speedway for the Shut Up and Race Gone with the Wind 100, sponsored by Jessica Reinartz. We just got the national anthem and getting these guys out here on the track qualifying. Let's see who's out here on track. Take a look at Jerry Stone putting in his laps. Heading into one. There's a little bump there on the entrance of one that can catch you out if you're not paying quite attention or on the brakes or doing something a little bit different than normal. Let's see what he's going to get his first time lap down at. Looking at an 18:3:58. Larry Vick out on track. Let's take a look. Looks like his first lap was a 19:07.2. He's winding that car up and getting her going. Philip Martin out on track, putting his times in. Get a little loose coming through that little dogleg section. It's a little bit of a tricky area. Looks like he's going to be sitting 5th on the board for us right now. Jason Griffith out to the track. See how he's going to handle this tricky triangle we got going here. Working through those final corners, getting ready to come across that line. Looks like we're going at an 18:04.6, looking at a top 6 time. Patrick Smith got out there and snuck in a great time, putting down a 17:884 out of his laps. Able to get a great time in there. Jeff Steinberg out on track, or rolling through the pits here. While he was out on track, though, he was able to make that time count, putting down a 17:950, giving him the 3rd hot time for the night. Cody Hubbard. Coming off the last corner here. Here we go. Past that start finish, getting through that dog leg now. He's sitting in 9th place right now. See if this time's going to do him any better. It's looking like it's going to leave him right there in 9th place. Jonathan Cross and the number 10 machine out there working on his laps. Looks like he's starting his first time lap this time around. And a nice wide line through there. Getting himself set up for that dog leg. It's a weird place. The car wants to step out on you sometimes, and other times it's just happy to go around. And coming to the line this time, looks like he's putting in an 18:836, getting himself just inside that top 20, sitting in 18th. Jackson Lewis can be out there getting some laps now, get a little practice under his belt at the same time he's doing some qualifying. Just under a minute left with qualifying here tonight. Like Jackson's going to be one of our last drivers most likely to get a time put in. Of the drivers here, it looks like we got 3 drivers that haven't put a time in. So they'll just... Jackson with a good time, getting himself a 17:908, puts himself up into that 3rd position. Only about 15 seconds left in qualifying. Doesn't look like anybody else is out there on track and be able to get a time in. Everybody, for the most part, should be locked in. All right, so here at the Concord Motor Speedway, or Motorsports Park, we're looking at, like I said, they're talking about it as 5 turns, with 1 and 2 being right after our start finish. Counting 3 is that dog leg, and 4 or 5 leading us back to that front stretch. Currently, the track's sitting at about 102. During practice, it got up to the 117 mark. And the air temperature is sitting about 75 degrees. So we got an opportunity to see some guys work with the track as the temperature changes. There we go. Looks like we're getting to the grid. Let's get everybody, take a look and see where everybody's gridding up. All right, starting on our front row is going to be let's go. I'm showing Jackson Lewis starting first with Jeff Steinberg. Oh, my apologies. Looking at Patrick Smith starting there in the first position. There we go. Patrick Smith starting first. Jesse Womack starting second. Sitting in third place is Jackson Lewis with Jeff Steinberg in fourth. Fifth is going to be Gary Eschine, and sixth, Joshua Taylor. Taking that seventh position is going to be the 133 of Jason Griffith, with Damon Ekoff to his outside. Ninth will be Philip Martin, and Cody Hubbard taking that 10th position. Jerry Stone in the 224 starting 11th. And J.D. Callahan in 12th in the 129 machine. We're one lap to green. Finish up rolling through. We're going to get the 13th is going to be David Knowles, Justin Penwell in 14th. Mike Todd starting 15th. Jonathan Cross starting 16th. Brad Taz Baker starting 17th. And Daryl Whitford starting 18th. Derek Whitford 19th. And Larry Vick 20th as the pace car drops off the speedway. Give these guys the track. '79. Patrick Smith taking that inside line through corner one with the outside. Jesse Womack. Womack wide, almost out into that wall. 62 of Jeff Stenberg breathing all down his throat. Well, the 79 of Patrick Smith is able to make some distance and pull a little bit of a gap. That 62 machine looking to the inside of the 114, making some time up, getting up into that third position. Jeff Stenberg making his way through this field. Jesse Womack just barely able to get back into the line. Looked like he was stuck out to that outside, but now the number 8 of Gary Eschine is going to dive in there, maybe stick him back out to the outside. Looking to the front, Jackson Lewis making the move on Patrick Smith, going through that dog leg, coming through 4 and 5 now, going to make that move stick. Coming to the line this time, it'll be Jackson Lewis with the lead. Looking a little further back, we got Philip Martin in the 46 machine battling with Damon Ekoff. Damon's sitting right there behind him, working that bumper, trying to find someplace he can get that car by. Philip's just going to keep running that same line, keep the car down low as he can. Jason Griffith up there a little bit, making some moves, getting to the inside, and clearing the 8 of Gary Eschine. Looks like after a few laps, we've got everybody kind of single filed out. The leaders are able to more or less run their own line, extend that gap between them and third and fourth place. Looking out in front of those leaders, we got that 122 Daryl Whitford a little bit off the pace, and these leaders, Jackson Lewis and Patrick Smith, might have to deal with that a little bit sooner than they would have liked to do tonight. Each time they're going through these pace cars, it's just another thing to throw in the mix, another thing they're going to have to deal with as they're going. Patrick Smith still working that back bumper of Jackson Lewis, still trying to measure out his time, decide when's going to be the right time to make that move. Like we said, these guys are on one set of tires, so they got another 90 laps to do on the tires that they've started on as they get closer and closer to catching Daryl Whitford. Leaders are going to come by that 122 machine. Looks like he's going to move down low, give them some space. Oh, getting close there. 79 of Patrick Smith's going to have to work a little bit extra to get around that 122 car. He's able to do it quickly, though, and we continue on. Looking a little further back, we're looking at that 129 of J.D. Callahan. Finds himself stuck in a battle there with the 224 and the 60 of Justin Penuel. 224 slips up a little bit and allows him to come on by. JP's looking to that inside, looking to follow 129 J.D. Callahan. Keep on moving forward with him. That 224 car, Jerry Stone, is going to be stuck out to the outside there. He's going to be struggling, trying to find a way to get back down low and get back in line with everyone. Now 122 coming into play again with these guys as he slides back through the field, 3 wide with the lap car, and it looked like the 60 of Justin Penuel back there with him 3 wide. Number 93 of David Knowles to the outside as that 3 wide combo. Penuel and Knowles able to clear that 122, and now they continue on. Keep an eye on this 122 for a little bit. See, we've been moving to the high side, looks like. We'll let quite a few cars go by. Just not quite able to find the pace here. Maybe just not a track he's super comfortable with, or maybe the temperature's just throwing him for a loop a little bit today. Looking back up front, they are cutting Jackson Lewis in that 104, and Patrick Smith coming right back up on the 122. Looks like we got a caution out here on track. Looks like that number 8 car might have got caught up in something. Let's take a look back and see what we can see. We'll have Roger up here in the booth take a look at it and see what he's got out there on track for us.
Well, guys, let's take a quick peek here back on our replay here. You got the number 8 here of Gary as he was battling right behind. It looks like the 133 of Jason Griffith. Looks like he came off turn number 5, just a little sideways self-spin into the inside wall for the number 8 of Gary. He gets it turned back around, though. Self-spin here on number 19. Going to bring out our first yellow here for the Shut Up and Race Street Stock Series. Danny, back to you up here in the booth.
Thanks for that, Roger. Looks like that number 8 car trying to get that thing spun back around. He'll get rolling again and hopefully be able to get back into the mix of things. Back up front, though, we're still looking at Jackson Lewis being first with Patrick Smith second, Jeff Steinberg third, Jesse Womack fourth, and Jason Griffith up into that 5th position. That number 8 car of Gary Esching was running up there towards the front. Now going to find himself a lap down. A little unfortunate turn of events, but with plenty of time left in this race, there's a good chance he can work himself back up towards back up through that field and hopefully get that lap back. Like we were talking about earlier, these guys only get 1 set of tires. So with Gary's spin, those tires are going to be heated up. They're going to be a little bit cooked, and he's going to be struggling with that, having tires that are feeling a little bit older than everyone else around him. These guys pretty good at managing those tires, but anytime you spin that car, there's not a whole lot you can do about it other than maybe run a few laps a little bit off the pace to let them cool back down and hope that they will stick after that. All right, let's hit our top 10. Jackson Lewis first, Patrick Smith second, Jeff Steinberg third, Jesse Womack fourth, Jason Griffith sitting in 5th, Philip Martin sitting in 6th, Damon Eekhoff 7th, Riley Stingen sitting in 8th, Cody Hubbard in 9th, and Joshua Taylor rounding out our top 10. This time by, we see everybody going back to double file as the pace car turns them lights off. Next time by, we'll be going green. We'll be hitting that green flag on lap 24 out of the 100 that we're going to be seeing here tonight from the Concord Speedway. Jackson Lewis going to lead us to the green flag, and there he goes. Right on that loud pedal as soon as he could. Gonna pull a nice gap off these guys to begin with. Jeff Steinberg in a great position to run that inside line, try and get that position from Patrick Smith. Stenberg able to take that position from him. Smith gonna drop back to that third position. Just behind them, looks like everybody's starting to single file out. Looking at the number 46 of Philip Martin into that inside line. Tried to work past the 177 of Riley Sturgeon. Well, it says 177 on my timing and scoring here. I'm not seeing a number on that car, but he's just blacked out running in stealth mode, it looks like. Maybe that'll work for him. Got a little bit of a squabble going back here towards the back of the field. The 40, 132, and 10. That's going to be Jacob Hartcoat, Ben Reidner, and Jonathan Cross. All working on each other, trying to get those positions, trying to make something happen as we come by lap 28 this time. 132 in the whole mix of that thing, gets himself a little bit out there, gets a little sideways, pushing the car maybe a little too much this time. Those guys are going to get things figured out. Looks like Jonathan Cross is going to start pulling away, but Bud Redner is still going to have to worry about that 132 of Jacob Heathcote behind him. Joshua Taylor going to be sitting just in front of that 93 car. So that 93 looks like he's trying to make something happen, trying to get back to that bumper, making sure that Taylor's running nice, clean laps, not just going to give him the position and let him run away with it. Jason Dobbs up in the 4th place, sitting on, just got past that 79 car. You see the 114 of Jesse Womack getting a little bit sideways coming through that corner. Like we've said a couple of times here, those tires can be warmed up now. He's going to have to try and save a little something to keep from overcooking in the rest of this race. Oh, caution's out on the track. Looks like that was the Jason Dobbs in the 133. All right, we'll send it back up to Roger, see what he's got up there in the booth for us.
Well, as the camera was watching Jason Dobbs come through the field in the 4th spot, it looked like Jason Dobbs trying to work through the lap traffic here on lap 32. As you see, coming into turns 4 and 5 there, Jason Griffith going to the outside there of Darrell Whitford there in the 122. They make contact. Both those two drivers spin to the inside. Both going to have to allow the whole field to go by them before they can turn their cars in the right direction. Jason Dobbs going to go from running inside your top 5, now slotted back into 22nd, so a lap car making a little havoc here on lap 33.
You know, with a track this size, that's kind of something we expect to see. That's something these guys are going to have to deal with all night long. They're going to be catching their tail just as quick as they get rolling. You know, it's unfortunate to see, but like we say, it's just the nature of this short track racing we got going here tonight. So Jason, who's run up at our top 5, he's got quite a bit of work to do. Managed to stay on the lead lap, but he's going to be the last car on the lead lap. He's got quite a ways to go to get back up to that position he was running in. You know, and the question is, do you burn up the tires now trying to get there to the front, or do you run it out and just kind of take things as they come to you? That's something he's going to have to be figuring out as he's going around the rest of this race on those tires that have been heated up beyond what they're going to be happy doing. All right, let's get our top 5. Jackson Lewis in the 104, sitting in first place still, with Jeff Steinberg there behind him. Riley Sturgeon is sitting in 3rd. He's been coming up through this field. He's got that stealth machine working for him tonight. Fourth place, 79 of Patrick A. Smith. He's had a little struggles on some of these restarts, keeps getting stuck to that outside and fighting to stay in that top 5. Jesse Womack sitting in the 114. He's our fifth place car. Just behind him is Philip Martin, Damon Ekoff in 7th, Cody Hubbard in 8th, JD Callahan sitting in 9th, and Justin Penuel sitting in 10th. So since coming to the lead, Jackson Lewis has been sitting there for about 33 laps, taking control of this race, and I'm sure it's a position he's not looking to get rid of. He'd be happy to stay up through the rest of the night and keep things rolling as we watch the pace car drop off. Guys will be getting ready, getting everything set to go back to green. Jackson Lewis back on it quick and early again. Once again, gets that nice gap between him. Oh, looks like we're back to caution again. Seeing that. Looking like Philip Martin might have got caught up in that. We'll take a look, send it back up to Roger, see what he's got up there in the booth for us with that. He was able to see what happened there.
Well, a quick caution back-to-back here coming out on lap 39. Let's throw her in, rewind here, and see what happened on this initial start. There we see the incident already happening. Looks like the 79 there, Patrick, getting involved with a couple of them. We're going to have to throw it back just a little bit farther here on the restart and see if we can go from a blimp or a chopper cam here and see, as you're watching the 79 on the outside, that orange number 79. There you see him come out of the corner. It looks like maybe just a little contact between him and Philip Martin, and with this being such a small track, it just kind of clogs the entire field, and a couple guys getting caught up in that. JD Callahan also involved, and I believe then the 224 of Jerry Stone, as you see him right there going up and over for just a little bit of a ride on the top of the 79 machine. So a whole bunch of cars wrapped up in an incident here on the restart. Well, Danny, a couple guys beat up out there, but back to you up in the top here.
Thanks for taking a look at that for us. You know, Philip Martin and that 79 car Patrick Smith running up there in the top, but they're dropping back pretty quick because of that little incident. Philip Martin's going to find himself our last car on the lead lap with Patrick Smith looking like he's going to be sitting down there on pit road for a little bit trying to get things straightened out on that car. Along with Patrick Smith, we got JD Callahan sitting there trying to get some work done on that car. These guys, those two guys will be able to go down there, get those cars worked on. They won't be able to take tires, and they shouldn't need any fuel, so they're just down there trying to get those cars straightened up so they can get them back on track and get things rolling again. So we're almost to the halfway point, but had a few cautions changing things up for these guys, you know, giving a little bit of a strategy to work with, whether you're able to push the car hard or if you're going to hold back a little bit and wait. So Riley Stingem has been charging through this field. Started in 22nd. Now finds himself up there in the second place position. You know, it's a great place to be, but we've seen that outside line struggle on the start here. Each of these restarts struggle to get back in line, get back down to that low line. See if he's able to do something a little bit different with it this time. So we see Jackson Lewis sitting up here at the front, seeing him running a A great race out there. But that's maybe the change with Riley, the way he's been charging through this field. Maybe he has something for Jackson that he can give him something to think about. Maybe make that pass, keep things exciting up there. You know, those two will be going at it, and I'm sure the guys behind will be thinking the same thing. Looks like the pace car is going to go ahead and drop off the track for us, and let's get this thing started again. Jackson Lewis quick to the loud pedal. Everybody's pretty quick to single file out. Nobody wants to mess with this track too much. Looking back a little ways, it looks like Jonathan Cross and the 48 of Larry Vick are going to be going at it for a little bit till Jonathan slides out to that outside and Cross is able to get by. At 27, Brad Tasbecker is going to be coming up into the picture quick with Jonathan running that high line. Right behind him, bringing Jason Griffith. Looking back towards the front, we got Jackson Lewis battling with Riley Stingem. Riley staying right on that bumper, looking to the inside, coming into one. Not quite get there enough to make it stick. He's just going to keep working that same line, trying to get by Jackson Lewis, take some of those lead laps. Just behind them, Jason Steinberg got his own worries with Jesse Womack on his rear bumper. And these two tied together, putting in some laps, trying to... Jackson Lewis, Riley Stenjum, no, they only got one set of tires. They are going to go ahead and use those things up. They're pushing hard. See a little wiggle from them coming into that dog leg. Riley is pushing hard on that bumper, trying to get Jackson to make some sort of mistake. Jackson's going to get a little bit sideways coming out of that corner. Not quite able to hold it down to that line the same way we're seeing Riley do. Coming up on the lap traffic, that 122 car. They're going to clear him easily. He's going to drop down out of the way, let them go by. And right here with Riley, he's still working that bumper, still trying to make something happen. Going to make sure that Jackson runs perfect laps or make him pay for it. See him get right there to that bumper a few times, but not able to get that nose in quite far enough to take the position to make Jackson move up off the bottom. Looks like we got a caution out here on track. Let's see if we can figure out where that's going on. Looks like that might have involved our 192 and possibly the 224, but we'll take a look back. Roger, what you got for us up there?
Well, let's take a look here on lap 55 as the 192 is battling with, I believe that's the 129. The 129 getting a little piece of Jonathan in the 192 as he got a little loose off turn number 5 and spun it around here on the front stretch. He's able to turn it around, though, before your leaders catch up to him, so he should possibly stay on the lead lap. But Jonathan in the 192 going for a little bit of a ride here off turn number 5 to bring out another caution here just after the halfway point here from Concord Speedway.
Thanks for that, Roger. That gives us 4 cautions today so far, just over halfway. But, you know, these guys are pushing like we were watching our leaders, Jackson and Riley, go at it. Nobody's really willing to give up anything. They're not often a chance to make a pass here unless you're really pushing the issue. So these guys will be pushing hard throughout the race. Looking like with this caution, we got Gary Ishin going to get his lap back, get him back on that lead lap. We watched him up towards the front earlier in the race, so see if he's able to work his way back up there. One point he got himself up to 5th, now sitting and looking like 16th, 15th place. Look for him to maybe push up through the field a little ways and get some of those places back. All right, the top 10 as we see them now. We got Jackson Lewis, Riley Stenjum, 62, Jeff Stenberg sitting in 3rd, Jesse Womack sitting 4th, Cody Hubred sitting 5th with Justin Penuel in 6th, Damon Ekoff sitting 7th, and Joshua Taylor 8th. David Knowles sitting in 9th, and rounding out the top 10 is going to be Larry Vick. Just outside the top 10 after spinning that machine a little while ago, we got Jason Griffith though, so obviously that spin might have messed him up a little bit, but he's still able to work with that car. The lights are out on that pace car. Looking for it to drop off the track here, and we'll get back to green. Taking the green with 40 to go. Jackson Lewis leading them away. Quick to get clear of Riley. Looks like everybody's going to be fighting out a little bit more this time. Not quite a single file. Number 15 and 20 going at it right now. Back behind them, we still see that number 133, Jason Griffith, able to grab another spot. Quick to come to the bumper of that 93, David Knowles. Looking to the inside again. Able to push Knowles to the outside and keep going up through the field. That 93 car looks like it's been through quite a bit. Not that Griffith's car is looking much cleaner, but you can tell this is some short track racing as that number 48 gets into the back of 93 just a little bit there, lets him know I'm here. I'm looking to get by. Back up to the front, Riley's sticking that nose in, trying to make something happen. All over the back bumper of Jackson Lewis. Watch him get a little bit sideways, maybe up into the wall there. Sideways through 4 and 5. This could be the opportunity Riley was looking for as he pulls alongside, coming into 1 and 2. Riley able to get down to the inside. These guys are fighting hard. Just a little bit of contact there. Has to be sideways hard into the wall for that Riley. All right, let's take a quick look back at that, see kind of what led up to that little bit of an incident we had there. Roger, what you got for us?
Well, here on lap 66, 2 of your leaders at the front of the field getting together as they ran side by side through that little dog leg down the back there, corner number 3. Contact from the 177 there into your leader, the 104 of Jackson. Jackson to the outside wall, the 177 hitting the inside wall. Riley taking the hardest hit out of both of them. It looks like Riley going to actually have to take a tow there for the 177, but Jackson Lewis going to get it pointed in the right direction. It looks like he should be slotted right around the 10th position here, but the 177 of Riley Stimgen taking the brunt of that deal there. It looked like Riley had a strong car, Danny. Unfortunately, not going to end the way he wants here tonight.
No, that's all it takes. One little corner can mess things up for these guys. You know, we saw them running hard on each other. And just a little bit of contact, and those guys were sideways, and going to mix up our running order quite a bit as those guys are right there at the front of our pack. So our top 10 as it looks now, we got got things mixed up a little bit. We got Jeff Stadberg up into 1st, Jesse Womack taking 2nd, Justin Penuel in 3rd, and Damon Ekoff in 4th, Cody Hubred in 5th, Jason Griffith after that spin up into 6th place. Joshua Taylor sitting in 7th just behind him. David Knowles sitting in 8th. Jackson Lewis in 9th, and Philip Martin rounding out our top 10. And we're seeing lots of hard battling from these guys and lots of movement through the field. So You know, these guys we're seeing get involved in a little something, drop to the back. There's time for him to get to the front, time for him to make something happen. Looks like we're sitting on lap 70, so they got 30 more laps to work with here tonight. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with the end of the race for you here tonight from Concord.
We're almost out of fuel. You'll have to come in for a splash. Three, two, one, now. All clear. Punch it.
Here we are back to Concord Speedway, coming to the green flag. That's 62 Jeff Stenberg taking us there and getting a quick jump, getting out ahead of the 114 of Jesse Womack. Those guys are going to slip out. Looks like Dobbs having a little bit of an incident coming around. Able to keep that car rolling though. Back behind him, we got a little bit of a battle. Looks like the 93 of David and the 46 of Philip Martin working on each other. Philip Martin able to come on by. That 93 isn't going to let that go quickly, though, or quietly. He's going to keep right there on that bumper and try and get that spot back. Jackson Lewis, our former leader, pushing his way back through, going around Jason Griffith. Looking in front of him, that number 20, Cody Hubbard, looking to the inside of Justin Penwell. Not able to make it happen as the 104 of Jackson Lewis comes on by him. That 104 is wasting no time, taking whatever chance he needs to get back to that front. Wants that lead back bad. So he's already back up to 5th. Seems to be liking the way that car's running. He's got things going good for him. It's just a matter of finding the space, finding the way to get that car to hook up and go on by. So we watch him go past the number 60 of Justin Penwell. Cautions out, looking like it might involve the number 8 here tonight, Gary Asheen. He is, yep, looks like he's the one involved. Roger, what you got for us? What happened on that one?
Well, let's throw it back here on lap 77. Gary back on the lead lap, trying to work his way up through the field. It looks like he was in a little bit of a battle here with the 48 of Larry Vick. Larry comes off the corner sideways, and then they make contact coming off turn number 5 right on the front stretch. Around goes the 8, hard impact to the inside wall. A lot of damage to the front end of the number 8 here for Gary. So he hits the outside wall once again, trying to turn her around, but that's a lot of damage. Hood gone, front end gone on the number 8 here for Gary on lap number 77. Bringing out another caution, closing in on the 20 marker. It's a go lap here, Danny. Gonna be a great one to the end.
Oh, it's gonna be exciting to see these guys run it to the end. You know, the hood and the nose being gone, it's not really an aero track, but there's some important bits up there in the front of that car that he's gonna want to try and take care of. We're getting a few laps out of these guys and hopefully get to the end here, get these guys some good, clean racing. Looks like that 79 Patrick Smith out on track, able to get that thing rolling again. Looks like he sat there for a good 29 laps, but he'll come back out and hopefully be able to get some clean laps in here. Maybe make something up on looking like there's a couple guys sitting down there in pit lane that he might be able to get those positions back from. The 28 of Mike Todd and the 132 of Jacob Heathcote should be able to get those positions. They're able to keep that thing running. back up front with 20 laps to go. Looking at our leaders, number 62, Jeff Steinberg, sitting in first. Jesse Womack still sitting in second. And Damon Ecoff sitting in third. Jackson Lewis, we've been watching him come back through the field, sitting in fourth. And Justin Penwell sitting in fifth in that number 60 machine. Looks like seventh, we still got Jason sorry, let's get back here to sixth place. Sixth place, we got Cody Hubbard. Seventh is going to be Jason Griffith. Eighth is going to be Philip Martin. Ninth, David Knowles. And 10th is going to be Larry Vick. As the lights are out on the pace car, so we look for it to dive in this time by. 18 to go with Jeff Steinberg leading them back to the green. Steinberg's off. Able to quickly clear that 114 Jesse Womack. Back behind them, got Jackson Lewis. You know he'll be coming up through as quick as he can. Quick to the inside of the 114 Jesse Womack. Able to take that position pretty quick off that start. He'll be sitting on that back bumper of the 62 Jeff here pretty quick. Looking back through the field, what we got going, the 46 is back here battling with the 93 David Knowles. Each time we've seen these guys kind of get things mixing up, things can get exciting real quick as these cars are sitting on old tires at this point with only 16 laps to go. Back up front, Jackson Lewis still looking to get caught up with Jeff Steinberg. Looks like he might have caught the wall there. Still pushing, still trying to get those quick laps in. Looking back between second and third, there's about a half-second gap, so Jackson's able to do some work on that car in front of him, the Jeff Steinberg. Able to try some different things and not have to worry too much about the guys behind him getting crazy and throwing a car somewhere. This time by, we'll be sitting at 12 to go. 114, Jesse Womack getting a little bit sideways coming out of 5. He's really cooking those tires, really trying to get something to happen with that car. It's just bringing that 15 Damon Ecoff right on past him. Once these tires heat up, oh, out into the wall. That's going to bring that number 20 car, Cody Hubbard, right up into the pictures. He's going to be trying to look to that inside now. Looking back up front, looks like Lewis is coming right up alongside Jeff here through 1 and 2. Little bit of contact between them. Nobody's getting too messed up by that. Number 15 of Ecoff has gone around. He's going to bring out the caution. With 10 laps to go, Jeff Steinberg, Jackson Lewis going to be sitting right there at the front, have themselves a little shootout here to the end probably. All right, let's send it back up to Roger. Roger, what you got on this caution for us?
Well, we're fighting hard here with 10 to go. You're a couple drivers here running inside the top 5, making contact off turn number 2. Ecoff going to go around off the front bumper there of the 144 of Derek. That's going to bring out our caution here with 10 to go. Now 9 to go. So Ecoff going to go around and lose that top 5 running position. Right now shown in the 15th spot here after that spin on turn number 3. Danny, what a barn burner we're going to have here under 10 to go. Probably get the green flag with right around 6 laps to go remaining here.
Oh, it's going to be exciting with Jackson Lewis and Jeff Steinberg sitting right there at the front. Expect to see some hard fighting out of them, as this is going to give Jackson Lewis a little bit of a chance to cool those tires down. You know, we've watched him push up through the field here. You know, he's been working that car pretty hard. He can get those tires cooled back down. Maybe he can push just that much harder here towards the end, knowing he's only got a few laps left to go on those tires. All right, let's run it through the top 10. We're gonna have Jeff Steinberg up in first, Jackson Lewis second, third, Cody Hubbard, fourth, Justin Penwell, fifth, Philip Martin, sixth is gonna be Jason Griffith, seventh, David E. Knowles, eighth is Larry Vick, ninth is Joshua Taylor, and 10th is Brad Taz Becker. With the way iRacing works here, we're gonna hit that magic 5 laps to go. Any caution after this will basically end the race. These guys all be hoping, I'm sure, to get that finish under the green flag. I know Jackson Lewis will be hoping to keep it green as long as possible so he can have time to make that move. He started the night with about 20 guys out here on track. 15 of them are still on the lead lap, with it looks like 18 still on track. Looks like the lights are out on that pace car. Everybody's doubling up, getting ready to go. Keep an eye on Jeff Steinberg. He'll be looking to get a good start. There he goes, coming out of forward 5. Gonna quickly get past Jackson Lewis, but we've seen Jackson be nice and fast, so not a real worry. He's gonna stay right there on that bumper and keep pushing. Looking back a ways, it looks like everybody's starting to do single file out. Jackson, looks like we got a caution out here on track. Looking like it was that 46 of Philip Martin that might have been involved with that. Roger's probably got a better look at it. Roger, what you got for us?
Well, Danny, I think we had a couple things going on here with under the 3 lap, or right around the 3 lap to go marker. Looked like Philip Martin battling with, though. It looks like a big chain reaction down there in turns 3 and 4. A couple guys blinking out, I believe. And then I believe there was another incident as Philip Martin, you see him pointed in the wrong direction off turn number 5. I think the 122 of Darrell Whitford had something go wrong. We're going to have to rewind it back just a little bit here and see what happened to the 122. You see he's already into the outside wall. Let's go back just even farther here. As we came to take the green flag, the 122, oh, he made contact. I'm not sure which car that was. I think that was the number 40 of Bud, and then the 122, Darrell pointed in the wrong direction, not able to get it pointed back in the right direction. That could have also caused big havoc as your leaders, as you see them work off turn 5, coming right at Darrell, and right there the yellow flag flies. Well, Danny, looks like we're on our final lap here of the 100 lap race here for the Shut Up and Race boys.
That looks like that's going to be it. That little wreck's going to end it for us here tonight. We'll be finishing under yellow with our first place being Jeff Steinberg, second Jackson Lewis, third Justin Penwell, fourth Cody Hubbard, and fifth David E. Knowles. These guys really put in the work tonight, really driving these cars about as hard as they possibly could out here, given the track state and the temperature they were dealing with. All right, as we finish up the race here, you'll see the finishing order run across the top. Take a look, see where your favorite guy finished, and give us a minute. We'll get right back with talking with our top 3. Welcome back to the Shop and Race. Gone with the Win 100 here from Concord Speedway. Able to catch up with your top 3 finishers. I got Justin here with me. Justin, how was that race out there tonight?
Man, I tell you what, that's one of the toughest races I've had all season. It was slick.
As we saw, you started there back in about, what was it, 14th position, able to push your way up here to 3rd. What was it you were able to find out there that made that possible?
Man, honestly, it was just attrition. I don't think I got any better throughout the race. I think in fact, I think I got worse. But as cautions come out, I was able to get a couple each time on the outside. Accidentally hit a few people here and there. Apologize to them. But other than that, just having a steady hand on the wheel.
There you go. You heard it from Justin. It's all about keeping nice and steady, keeping things calm. Justin, anybody you need to say thank you to? Anyone that helps you get that car out here on track each week?
Yeah, man. Main Street Motorsports, Shut Up and Race, of course. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be doing this at all. My wife, she is constantly here with me, coaching me through quite a bit. Believe it or not, she's pretty helpful. Other than that, just Pat and Philip and all these guys that come out here every week and make Shut Up and Race what it is.
Well, congratulations on that 3rd place finish. Looks like you had a good time out there on track.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
Able to catch up with our 2nd place finisher, Jackson Lewis. Jackson, you got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Jackson, we watched you get up there towards the front of the pack, lead 62 laps, and then get caught up in a little to do. Talk us through your night. How was it going for you?
Oh, it started off pretty good. We qualified at P3, so it wasn't a bad qualifying effort. Went out through the race, tried to get to the lead as quick as I could. Got to the lead. Once I got there, I just maintained tires, and that was pretty much it. And then once Stenny got to me, he just, drove like a typical Riley Stenham and wrecked the hell out of me. So it's whatever. It's typical from him, but I don't know what else I was expecting, but everyone else drove clean, and it was fun racing with everybody else except for that one guy, which is too bad, but oh well.
Well, it was exciting to watch you out there on track, exciting to watch you push back through. Track temperatures, how were you feeling about that? Was that something you were comfortable with, or were you working with the car all night long?
Sure, made it a lot more fun. It was a little slick especially in practice. In practice, it was a lot slicker than race, but honestly, it made it a lot more fun than driving a tight car. It got a little loose, saving tires a lot harder on you. Brought out the driver and everybody, that's for sure.
Well, congratulations, that 2nd place finish. That's gonna be a nice addition. Anybody you need to say thank you to? Anyone that helps you get that car out here?
Gotta thank all the boys at the PTB shop. All of them guys at the Pay the Bills shop, getting this car out here every single week and bringing a fast car out here every week too. Gotta give a hats off to all of them.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Catching up with our winner, Jeff Steinberg. Jeff, you got a copy?
Yep.
Jeff, am I getting that right? Is it Steinberg or Stenberg?
Steenbergen.
Steenbergen. Well, I'll get it eventually here. We'll get it figured out. Congratulations, you're bringing it home 1st place with 35 laps led on the night. Started out towards the front, able to stay there for the most part. Talk us through your night a little bit.
Yeah, it's my first time at this track, so I didn't have a whole lot of laps coming in, and practice, like the others have said, was quite slick. So I wasn't really sure where I was going to stack up, and come race time, I was just trying to save my tires as long as I could, and just kind of rode in 3rd place and bided my time, and just kind of lucked into it there at the end. But it was shaping up to be a really good race. When those two got side by side, I caught them, and I think that could have been a lot of fun there at the end. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out. Those two got together, but yeah, it was a pretty smooth race, and definitely a lot of fun.
So after practice, you're saying things were feeling slick. Was it cooling off as the night was going, or was it feeling like it was just staying that slick all the way and you're just working with it?
No, it definitely got better as the race went on. I was feeling a lot better about things towards the end there, even with the tires wearing away. The car still had plenty of grip, and I was actually running some of my fastest laps at the end.
Well, for a track you haven't run before, a first place finish is definitely a great place to be. Anybody you need to say thank you to? Anybody that gets that car out on track for you each week?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to Ultimate Race Cars for a nice, fun, fast car again this week, and backing up podium finish from last week too, and looking forward to next race.
Well, Jeff, congratulations on that first place finish. It's definitely something to hang your hat on here at this tricky little track we got. Thank you to everybody out there that's been watching. This is the Turn 3 Racing Network. We've been bringing you the Shut Up and Race Street Stock Series here from Concord Motorsports. 100 great laps in the Gone with the Wind 100. Our first place finisher was Jeff Steinbergen. Second, Jackson Lewis. Third, Justin Penuel. Fourth, Cody Hubbard. And fifth was David E. Newells. Look forward to seeing you all next week out here with the Shut Up and Race Street Stock Series.